so we'll go ahead and get started. A little bit of housekeeping before we do. First of all, thanks for joining. It's great to have you guys here, and we're really excited about the new Coflyt and what we've done with the software. We think it's going to be very advantageous to you guys, and I know we've got some on here that are using Coflyt, and we'll have some that are potential customers of Coflyt. So I appreciate everybody joining. If you have any questions, please just put them in the chat, and I'll get to those once we go through. What I want to do first is I'm simply going to walk through the software. This is going to assume that you've already internet playing in the software, that you've already started using Coflyt. We want to show you what it looks like with aircraft in it. Of course, if anybody has any questions, otherwise, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be glad to talk to you and just to add to anything that we can or that we talk about here. We'll be glad to go into more detail later. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we will go ahead and start going through the software with you guys. Click over there. Okay, when you get to your home screen now on Coflyt, that you'll notice a change right away if you have more than one aircraft. So specifically, we set the first version of Coflyt about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and then we've really gotten a lot of input from owners and operators of aircraft since then. And this is one of the things that we were asked for quite a bit. A quick view of multiple aircraft. So you can see there are 4 aircraft here, and within the 4 aircraft, I can see what's going on with each one of them. So I've got 1 squawk that's open on this aircraft. I've got 6 upcoming inspections, and I've got 0 overdue on this aircraft. And then when you want to go into more detail on each aircraft, you just click in it. But imagine this can be on a screen if you're part of a flight club or a flight school. You can have a screen with multiple aircraft, or a partnership that might have more than 1 aircraft. This is where you would start. And then you click through to the aircraft, and that's where you begin seeing the details. So you guys have been using Coflyt for a little bit. So the things that you've noticed that we've always had VFR requirements and IFR requirements, and we had ADs, and they were further down the page a little bit. So what we've done now is you can move all these categories around, and I will show you a little bit of that in detail. At the top of the page, you may have noticed something that's missing is we used to have the engine logs for the aircraft up here. Now we have moved engine logs down here, and this is a multi-engine aircraft. This is a bearing we're looking at. So you can see both the right engine and the left engine here, and I'll click through to those in a little bit. So that's another change that we've made, are the engine requirements that are here within the aircraft on the main page, so you can see everything up front. So immediately you see the same things that you've seen before. Aircraft status is ready. Schedule status is available now. It's not scheduled. And this is the fuel that's on board, 60 gallons on board this aircraft. And there is 1 open squawk on this aircraft. So let me show you a little bit more detail on what we've done with this main screen so that you can really customize and set it for what you need to for your aircraft or your partnership aircraft or your flight club aircraft, whatever it may be. So VFR requirements, those have always been the base requirements that you need to fly any aircraft for the most part. And then you can customize within these groups as well. But you can see here, I have my insurance policy here, aircraft registration with the expiration, and you'll see the dials on the right that still show you the amount of days or hours, depending on how you've set it up. Transponder check, 100-hour inspection, and here's some more customizable by aircraft. Induction air filter inspection. There's an inspection requirement on some aircraft, seatbelts and shoulder harness to check those. And you can set that based on when the last time you've done any of these inspections. I will click through on the others, but let's just look at the transponder check in more detail. The date it was performed was February 24th, 2021. And if you wanted to change something here, you click on settings, and the transponder check is here. You have it set in VFR requirements, but this is another piece. If I wanted to move this, for example, to IFR requirements, I could. You can move the inspection to any of the inspection groups from this dropdown. You can make it aircraft is grounded when overdue. So let's check that box. Okay, so when it's overdue, it'll be grounded, the aircraft, and you can change this on any of the inspections as well. This for transponder check is obviously set on date, but you can set any inspection for both or date, but you can also set custom counter, and you can come down here and choose how you would like to measure it. In this case, this aircraft is set up to use Hobbs, right tack, or left tack, and you could choose either there. But I'll put it back on date, and I will save. Okay, and then you go back to the inspection stage. So that's the VFR requirements. So let me show you, typically I have VFR requirements and IFR requirements. That's what you've seen before. Airworthiness directives is here, but I'd rather it be here. So you can shift it, and you can shift any of these blocks and they'll move back and forth, which is really a sweet function that we're excited about. In IFR requirements, you click again, here's your drop-down list. You'll see some of the things that it's in this aircraft: nav database, altimeter, VOR check. Right engine, so you've got oil change, major overhaul, and you've got the same thing on left engine for a twin engine aircraft. And you can, again, add any category that you wanted to add here. So let's just say you wanted to add top overhaul inspection. So we can just do that. That's an example. It may or not be a good example, but that's what we'll use for right now. And we'll leave it on the left engine group. And we're going to do both. And so we're going to set the date type. We're going to do it in months. And, you know, sometimes we'll say, we'll do 84 months because every 7 years, or we may want to do something like that. Warrant at days, 60 days, customer counter. More than likely it's going to be here. And for this bearing, it's going to be Hobbs. And we're going to do every 1900 hours. Let's just do 1500 for now. And we're going to warm at 100 hours. Okay, we'll save that, create the inspection, and then it wants us to tell the last time it was performed. So we're going to say it was performed back in 2020. And we'll say the last Hobbs was performed was 3,500. And the due date is down here in due Hobbs. So we'll save that. And it's showing 5,000 because that's 1,500 plus the 3,500 plus the 1,500. So if you save that, the net inspection is here, and it's going to be within that group when we go back. So we'll go back to that engine, and there's the inspection, 1,157 hours. So that's an example of how you can really set an inspection in anything under any group that you would like to set. Now, the one thing before we did this change to Coflyt, there really wasn't an opportunity to set up props. So now that we have that, you can create any category that you would like. So I've got props. So, and this is actual information on the bearing that I'm flying today. So left prop overhaul is going to be due in 1,905 hours because we just actually did a prop overhaul. Left prop balance, you may or may not want to record something like that, or you may or may not balance your props, but we did just when we did the prop overhaul. So we showed that we did a left prop balance and it's checked as performed. I did not set it as recurring. So you can set inspections just to show you did them at one time so that everybody associated with this aircraft would be aware of that. Right prop overhaul is due in 1,405 hours. And so you see both of those here. Now you could do this differently if you wanted to. I could set a new group. I could do a right prop and a left prop and do it that way, but I chose to do it under props and do it right and left. So you have that option. Really, everything in here is very customizable. Now, one thing that you may not have thought of, and this is just to give you an example of some of the things that you can do now within Coflyt. If you have multiple people that are flying the aircraft that you're associated with, you know, sometimes it's a nice, you really want to know what your partner's status is from an FAA perspective. You would also, if you had a flight club, you would want to do the same thing. If you have multiple people, again, flying the aircraft. So what I've done here, this just helps me track where I am, and you could do this, and I called it, I just put it my medical, TAL medical is due. The last time I had it, it was back in November. So it's due 11/30/2022. So I've got 644 days, and it seems like I always get close to the time, and I sort of forget that it's coming up until this last minute, and then I'm scrambling to get an appointment. Um, I've got, I just put my license in here. You may or may not want to do that. It just shows commercial, single engine, and multi-instrument. Um, and you can put that in there. You could put requirements, and I could put a name. If you had more than one individual, you could put their name associated with their certificate there. A biannual flight review is something we all need to track as well. Mine was in December, so I have that. So if I'm in the partnership with someone else, my partners would also be able to see this and see that, I'm maintaining the certifications and the checks that I need to continue flying typically under the insurance policy. So that's what the opening page looks like. That's really where you can get everything associated with your aircraft and show that here. Also associated with the aircraft is document upload. You may have seen this, it's been there a little bit earlier, but here's a couple of documents that I have uploaded, and you can see this is my insurance coverage here. So I keep that here, and you click on it, and it's going to download to a PDF copy. So you can see this is aviation insurance confirmation of coverage. So that's the document that I keep within here as well. So that's document upload. Let's go back to the airplane. Okay, we've been through the requirements. You guys have seen that we can move these around. You can really set it up any way you would like, so you can really be creative now with Coflyt and track what you want to do. If you want to edit the aircraft, you click here, and that will take you directly to the aircraft to edit how you set it up. So let's say that you were tracking via TAC and not via Hobbs, that you wanted to add Hobbs, and you could do that here. Here's how you create a new group. So you can create a new group here. You click on it, and let's say you're Part 135 operator and you want to track an APU on a turbine. We create an inspection group, and you go back, and here's the APU. Now within that group, I can add an inspection. And this is really, I'm going to be making something up. So I'm just going to put check. Aircraft is grounded when overdue, and the date and type, we're going to leave it on, we're going to do custom counter because I want to show you that. And we're going to do that on Hobbs, due every 100 hours, and worn at 10 hours. We save that. Okay, save. I'm sorry, I messed that up. So we need to put the last time it was done, just so it knows. We're going to say it was done at 3,500 again. And we'll leave it done on today. And so it knows that 3,600 hours now that the inspection will be due. So we save that. And we go back. And let me see what I did here. I think I put the times in wrong, but that's okay. Oh yeah, because it knows it's my aircraft itself has more time on it than this. So just disregard this one, but it does show you that it knows it's past due because I've got 3,800 or so on my last flight. And it's not distinguishing between the APU, but it would if we set that counter. Okay. That's how you add an inspection and add a group. Now I want to take you to, I'm going to delete this. We'll go ahead and do that. Actually, I'm going to edit it so it goes away. So I'll show you how to edit. And we'll set this at, we're just going to make it aircraft is not grounded, and we'll save that. And it should, well, it's still going to show overdue, but it's not, so it's grounded. So you can see aircraft status is ready. It's not grounded, even though the inspection is still showing overdue. Okay, so now let's go to flights, and I want to show you some information associated with adding flights that is new. And I'll go straight to a flight that's in here, and that's probably the easiest way to show you guys how you can do this. So this is a flight 2 Romeo 4 to Alabama 71. The flight date, purpose, you can change to work, Hobbs hours out, Hobbs hours in, and then these are the new fields that we have added that allow you to track consumables that we've had a lot of requests for, and we really think this is going to be of great value to our owners. So right engine oil added before flight, you can put that here or after flight. Left engine oil added before flight or after flight. Fuel out, fuel in, so you track your fuel here as well, and you can add fuel if you needed to before flight or after flight. So all this rolls together so that you know what the fuel is on the aircraft. If you have items that you would like to attach to this flight, if you have fuel receipts, you can do choose files here and roll up the fuel receipts into the document upload associated with this flight. Okay, so that's what's on the flight page. Let me show you the next thing that we really think is cool is you can export these flights. So flight history, click export flights, and it's going to export into an Excel spreadsheet in this case. And so you can see the flights associated with us, cross country, arrival airport, departure, flight dates, fuel left on the aircraft, Hobbs time of the flight, Hobbs out, Hobbs in, and then any notes that you added as well, and purposes, and when the log was created as well. So that's all here, okay? So that's available to you to download the flight reports as well. If you're not using favorite routes and you have favorite routes that you would like to fly, you can put those here on the favorite routes page and just click create flight. And it goes straight. So you don't have to enter the airport and everything is there and ready to go for you. Okay. KPNS Atlanta. Okay. Let's go back to the squawk page. We'll go back to aircraft. And then we're going to click through to this aircraft again. And I want to show you, if you go to the squawk page, and here are the squawks associated with this aircraft, and pretty much record everything. And this is going to go, you send these to your A&P or whoever it may be that you'd like them to go to. You do that in settings. And I will show you that before we drop this. But here's the squawks, the status of the squawks. You can change severity and you can change status. But one of the things I want to make sure you guys saw and understood was you can export the squawks. And so if you needed to send a report to anyone or provide it to your A&P, you can do that here as well. And that's open up there. So you can see here are the squawks associated with the aircraft, the date open, the date close, the severity that it was entered, and whether or not it's resolved. Okay. So that's the download report for the squawk page. If I go back here and I've showed you flights and download there, you guys are familiar with the schedule, there are really no changes there. I also want to make sure that you know within the payments page, you can go to admin and managing via partnership or a flight club. You can also download reports here as well. So you can export transactions from the payments page and do the same thing that we just saw there as well. Okay. Those are most of the highlights and most of the changes. I believe all the changes that we've made that are critical for you guys, and we're really excited about it. Hopefully this gives you the flexibility to manage your aircraft even better than you have before. And I want to make sure that if you guys have any questions, you can send those to us via chat. Or right now, I'll take some time for questions. So if you have anything, we'll put it in, and I'll be glad to try to get the answer to you right away. Any questions? Yeah, okay, so there's one question about adding an aircraft. So I want to go back to that and make sure that we show that as well. So here's your aircraft. Let's say that you're going to add an aircraft. You just click here. And it's the same thing. You put your tail number, home base, airport card, airport code. We're going to pull in this information for the FAA database, and then you click Save Aircraft, and it goes right back to the aircraft page. And that aircraft would be there in that case. Okay. And I'm sorry, I did not share that screen. So let me go back and do that one more time with you guys. Share. Okay, add an aircraft. I'm sorry, one more time. Add an aircraft here. You click on this page and you enter your home base code, your tail number, and we're going to pull the year, make, and model from the FAA database. And then this information is the same that you would set up other aircraft as well. Okay. And then you go back. Okay. So that's how you would add an aircraft, and that aircraft would appear on the screen once you added it as well. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I think I've got a few other questions. We're also going, yes, I had a question. There's a question about what about turbofan or turboprop aircraft? We can manage those for you guys as well. We would definitely want to help you with setup in some of those more complex aircraft. And so you can reach out to us either via email or we also have intercom. You guys can connect with us there on our website, and then we can set up a time to set up your aircraft for you. So we'll be glad to do that for any turbofan and turboprop aircraft. We built this updated Coflyt in response to requests from complex owners in a lot of cases. Some of the features and functionality we put here so that you could add categories and add groups was based on that. So we wanted to make sure you had the flexibility regardless of the complexity of your aircraft. So thanks for that question. Yes, and this will be posted. There's a question, can you post this as a recorded item for our members that may have missed it? And the answer is absolutely. We'll post this. And we're going to be doing more webinars as well. So this will be posted. We'll let you guys know where we post it. More than likely, it will be on our YouTube channel. And you will be able to see it there and follow up with any updates as well. And just please continue to send questions to us. We've also got more updates coming as well. We're working on information just to get you more data on your aircraft and more partnerships as well. So we're building partnerships to really help you guys make sure you have everything you need to manage your aircraft and manage your flight. I have another question. Are ADs posted through the site, or do you have to enter them manually? There is, actually, let me go back and I will share my screen to show you that. So for ADs, let's share the screen. Okay. Some of this away. So we go back to the aircraft. You got our airworthiness directives here. You drop down at the bottom of the page. You can click on import ADs from the FAA. Okay. If you click on that, it's going to bring in all the ADs associated with that aircraft. Now, what you can do that's really cool is you can associate it with the AD group, or if you wanted to associate it with a VFR or IFR requirement, you could do that as well. Okay. You can also click whether it's a recurring inspection. Now, this is going to be for the model aircraft, so you will need to spend a little time to make sure the ones are specifically for your aircraft. But generally, most of these, like in this case, most of these are going to apply to the Baron that I just pulled them for, and they're all there for you to select the ones that you want to actually track. Okay, good question. Here. Okay, so it looks like we really appreciate you guys joining. And I think that if anybody has, again, any questions, please feel free to follow up with us. Send us an email, reach us on intercom. And intercom, by the way, is at the bottom right of the screen. This is always here. And so if you have a question, you can always click on this and somebody will get back with you as well. That's it. If you guys don't have any other questions, then I think that's it for tonight. We really appreciate you joining us, and please feel free to share this with anyone else that might be interested in Coflyt, and help us spread the word. We think we've got a great product here, and we're trying to make it better each day, and we think it's really unique and very flexible. So we hope it helps you guys, and please help us spread the word. Thank you guys, and look forward to talking to you again soon.